Good morning, everyone. This is a meeting of the Concord Middle School Building Committee. Today is Thursday, August 21st, 2025, and I'm going to call roll. Heather Bout.
Good morning.
Good morning. Justin Cameron. No Justin. Bob Conry. No Bob. Gail Dowd.
Good morning.
Good morning. Peter Pashalis.
Good morning. I'm going to stay off of video because I'm driving.
Yeah, no problem. Drive safe. All right. Don Goriello, I'm present. Andrew Herchek.
Present.
Good morning. Tim Holt.
Here.
Hello, Lori Hunter.
Good morning. I'm not sure how many other school staff will make it because we're ramping up school. So
Why? Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Just kidding. I understand. Thank you, Lori. Mark Howell.
Here.
Hello, Mark. Carrie LaFleur.
Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning. Pat Nelson.
Good morning.
Good morning. Chris Popoff.
Good morning.
Good morning. Charlie Parker.
Here.
Hi, Charlie. Matt Root.
Good morning, Don.
Good morning. Tim Shudo. Did I say that right? Tim, facilities? No, I haven't met Tim, but I look forward to, and sounds like he won't be here, which I understand. Steve Stashewski.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Lori tells me we have a new school committee liaison. So
Sandeep Pusharati is, I can see he's listening in. He was appointed last night. He needs to still be appointed by the select board and all the formal pieces, but we're welcoming him as the second school committee rep.
Awesome. Welcome.
We'll put
Good
that
to
on
have
the
you.
agenda for Monday and take care of it.
Oh, great, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. All right. We look forward to having you, Sandeep. Thanks for joining today. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Let's go ahead and get things started. Our first order of business, the approval of meeting minutes from July 17th. Has everyone had a chance to review them? Does anyone have any comments, edits, changes?
Move to approve the July 17th minutes.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's do a roll call vote. Heather Bout.
Yes.
Peter Pashalis.
Abstain.
Okay. Don Goriello. I'm a yes. Andrew Herchek. Oh my God.
Yes,
everything.
I'm a yes.
Thank you. Tim Holt.
Yes.
Lori Hunter.
Yes.
Mark Howell.
Yes.
Pat Nelson.
Yes.
Chris Popoff.
Yes.
Charlie Parker.
Yes.
Matt Root.
Yes.
Steve Stashewski.
Yes.
All right. Motion passes. Very good. Moving right along. Correspondence communication. Is there anything, Heather? Mute.
There we
You're
go.
muted.
I have, well, that's appropriate because I have nothing to report today.
It is appropriate then. Very good.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
I will be very quick and we can move right along.
Amazing. Thank you. OPM update. Ian, financials.
Great,
CTA change
thank
orders.
you.
Yeah, take it away.
Yep, I'll jump in here. So sharing my screen, we've got a typical update with the financials, got a few change orders to review, and then construction progress report. So jumping into the financials. So this is the budget summary sheet. One thing to note is that we've gotten a lot of the PCOs, the potential change orders, behind us. So what we're forecasting is just a few small change orders, 16,797. So that's great progress for the team to get those behind us, and we're just sorting through a few last PCOs here. So expenditures to date, we're at 86 million of the 87 7 for construction. So we've got about 1.5 1.6 million left on that contract. Can't think of any substantive changes on A&E or administrative costs. Same with FF&E, just continuing to pay vendors. So we're at a point where we've nearly paid out all the vendors for FF&E and technology. Some small, $100,000 plus balances for each one of those. And then, bottom line, we've got, 104.4 million committed to date. We've paid out 101.3 of that. So there's small balance there. And contingency wise, we've got let's see, 5 million in contingencies plus the other two, so close to 7 million in contingencies there. We are reflecting one thing new this month, the added irrigation. We're showing that as a separate funding source below the line at the town's request. So we're showing it here as a separate funding, but that is part of CTA's contract. They have started that work, but we're just showing it as a separate funding source here. So any questions on the budget summary? See none. Contingency log. So hard cost contingency, that's the construction contingency. We have a little over 2 million remaining there. Soft cost, we've got 323,000 left in soft cost contingency. TRC log, we've got a few change orders to go through. Jen will go through those for us this morning. And then these are the invoices that we've paid since we last met, around 2.5 million. Various consultants, commissioning, Lero Hill, SMMA. We've got some FF&E and technology vendors in here, CTA requisitions, 2 CTA requisitions that were pushed through. FINA's our testing agent. So that's what we've pushed through for invoices since last month. Cash flow, just projecting out through the rest of the job to get us to the 111,516,000. So you'll see, most of the expenditures wrap up by the end of the year here. Graph. And that's it for financials. Any questions on the finances? Good. Okay. Construction update. So a few things in the building. We're right there with the punch list completion. There's 15 items that remain. So just whittling away at that. We are working with the team on commissioning and getting through the deficiency log. We've targeted a meeting for next Monday to sit down with all parties and help shepherd this along to try and get that commissioning list closed out. The concrete sidewalk replacement work is done. So that's what you're looking at here. They've poured all the concrete. They've caulked as well. So it's just curing, and they got a few more things to put in here, light poles and whatnot, but they'll be wrapping that up this week. Don, did you have something?
Yeah, I have a question. The 15 items remaining on the punch list, is that people that aren't coming back, like subs that you can't get to return, or what's the issue with the closeout on that?
Vinny, you want to take that one?
Sure. Most of them are small items. For instance, it's Walker.
Hold on one
Walker
sec,
the
Pat. Sorry, Ben. Pat, we're getting feet. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Go ahead, Ben.
Most of them are small items. We have Walker, a shade company that has to come back and fix a cord. We have a couple of items in the auditorium. Mostly it's the carpet and the cove base that remain open. There are no contractors that aren't coming back. We don't have any large items. There is some high point items, the bulletin boards in the hallway, the cover bases in the doorway, they're all being worked on. The bulletin boards probably will slide into school, but there is no absentee contractors, to answer your question.
Okay, great. Just was hoping to have it fully close out. I'm sure you are as well. So I guess I wanted to make sure that wasn't the case. All right, appreciate it. Thanks, Vinny.
Thank you. So auditorium, most of the carpet's down. They're looking to wrap up the end of this week. So we're right there with getting the carpet done in the auditorium. They've got commissioning of the AV systems as well planned. There's an event scheduled for 8/25, so that we were marching towards having that space complete and ready for that event. Phase 2, so the precast retaining wall that we reported on last month is complete now. They're continuing to establish the playing fields, starting to see some of the final grades on site. They're working on asphalt pathways, fencing, the basketball court and playground areas are taking shape. The irrigation started, it commenced on 8/11. And then, the last thing is going to be the seed. Probably late September for the growing season. So we've got a picture of the auditorium here, and this was from earlier this week. So a few final touches in the auditorium. Got some asphalt pathways that were being installed here. You can start to see some of the site furnishing, some of the pads for the dugouts, the benches, bike racks, trash receptacles, that sort of thing. So putting those hardscapes and furnishings in place. You can see the shape of the baseball diamond here. Start to see that develop, and then this is just another shot of the concrete sidewalk from the other side. So that's all I had for construction updates, unless someone had anything else to add.
If not, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Ian? No? All right. Anyone have any new business?
Oh, sorry, we need to go through the
Oh,
change
this
orders.
year. Okay.
Yeah.
I can
I went
take
out
it
of
in.
order. My apologies. So 61.
Great. All right. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, we do have a handful that we've processed already. So I'll just run through. 61 is just some remainder of the premium time, Saturday time that we approved to get us into the building for after February break. So this one totaled $12,298.64. Any questions? All right. 62 is a handful of change orders that were sort of lingering back and forth. We were negotiating and we finally reconciled these. First one is just a light fixture change. We had to go to a shallower light fixture because there was a conflict with the duct. This was all done, before school opened, but we were reconciling the costs. So that was $1,036.72. PCO 125, we had to do some soffit modification at the servery coiling doors. So those are the grates in between the servery and the cafeteria. In order to access the motor above those, the electrical inspector wanted a certain clearance, so we modified the soffits there. That was $11,446.33. The next PCO is again related to some soffits, just some minor changes at the main vestibule to get the soffits to kind of look right and merge with the window facade. So that was $4,076.07. PCO 133, just some additional final cleaning charges again to get us cleaned up before the school opened. So that was $2,735.07. Next change order, auto operator site repair visit. So this was a auto operator that wasn't working. A mechanic came to the site. It was deemed that that wasn't a warranty issue. It was something that the users had turned off a switch, so they repaired it. But we absorbed the costs for that. So that was the $582.77. And PCO 96 was just some signage submittal changes. This is another one that had been out there that we've been going back and forth with them on the costs. It was probably between a dozen and 2 dozen miscellaneous signage changes. Some adds, some deducts, but ultimately the cost was $8,989.29. So the total of this change order is $28,866.25. Any questions on any of these? All right, next one is change order 63 is just the time extension. So this is what was discussed at the last meeting to extend the time for phase 2 to October 15th. And then just what was discussed with extending general conditions costs. So this has a $0 change at the moment, but it's just extending the time. Any questions? All right, next change order. Again, just a couple of miscellaneous that have been going back and forth. PCO 128 was originally rejected. As we're closing things out, it was disputed by CTA, so it was brought back to the table. We reviewed it and ultimately agreed that these costs were legitimate. It's related to the steel beams that support the folding glass walls at the classrooms that look onto the team commons areas. So we had inadvertently marked up a shop drawing showing the elevation of the beam at a certain height when I think the majority of these had been installed on 2 floors when they started to install the ductwork, and there were some clashes. So they needed to be relocated and lowered. So there were some costs there for additional steel, but also field modifications. So this one was a total of $42,836.98. And then PCO 145 is replacing some flashometers. We had a couple bathrooms that had backed up, and due to the placement, they're sort of at the end of the line. We had replaced the flashometers to give so they weren't as low flow, and that's resolved the issue. So we went forward and we replaced it in a couple of locations just as belt and suspenders for future. So it's $5,559. So the total of this change order is $48,395.98. Any questions? Okay, 2 more. Next one is just the added irrigation costs of $384,303.14. This again, as a reminder, is just being funded from a different source, but was done through the construction contract. So, and the last change order, again, just some miscellaneous items. So PCO 90 was adding some voltage monitors. So some surge protection and voltage monitors above and beyond what we had on the drawings and what was required by code. It was actually recommended by the HVAC contractor. It's just something they've been doing on some of these all electric buildings to have additional monitoring and surge protection was recommended by them. So we ultimately agreed And that was 23,396.38. See, there's a question, Andrew.
Yeah, sorry, on the irrigation, I know we're approving it, but do we need additional approvals? Is this a big amount, or do we just need to approve it here to go ahead and implement it?
Yeah, it's actually being implemented already. Most of the irrigation's already installed.
Okay,
This amount was approved at town meeting, so that's the
Okay.
funding source.
okay,
Yep.
so we're good to go. Okay, I'm
Yep,
sorry.
good to go. Just two other PCOs on this one, just some added wood trim, again, at those display walls at the bridge. Minor costs, but just to finish it out, it was $2,550.10. And last one was just a credit. We didn't end up doing temp crosswalks during phase one. Originally, we were gonna move the sidewalk across the street. We ended up keeping it along the same side. So minor credit of $574.94. So the total of this change order is $25,371.54. Mark?
Do the voltage monitors get tied into a monitoring system, and does that require some additional training or expense?
It is, they're actually at the electrical panels, and those are monitored by the BMS. So there has been training. We still, I believe, have some training left, training hours left. So there'll be ongoing training as needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's it for change orders. Seems like a lot, but we're getting to the end, so we're just trying to close everything out.
Question, and I just want to understand this better. So there's a $42,000 change order because there was an error in the drawings, doors.
It was more, so we had the correct elevation in the drawings, in the shop drawings. We had marked it
Okay.
up, and what we did was we had called out the elevation for them to install it at the top of the beam elevation, when really we should have marked it up as the bottom of the beam. So it just, the beams were installed at the wrong height. So they needed to be modified in order to get the ductwork above the ceiling. So that was unfortunate, that it just happened to only be noticed as they were installing them.
Okay, and then that becomes a responsibility of the owner to pay for the cost of that mistake. I just
Yeah,
need to understand that.
It is, I mean, it is generally, there's a standard of care, and there's a, we look at the bottom line at the end, and generally there's a certain percentage that are, if the contingency that, is, I guess, industry standard for, say, errors and omissions, or, conflicts in drawings. And, generally I would say we're within that, and that's just part of the nature of the project. But, obviously if there's anything that's above and beyond, those are questions that come up, and, fairly from the owner, and we would address it at that point.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. I just
Yep.
needed to understand that.
Yep.
Pretty normal, Pat.
Okay.
It's sort of mild in the whole scheme of errors that could be made. So, yeah.
Yeah, nothing that we like to see, but happens.
Yeah, it's no one's perfect. No.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you for that, Jen. I'm glad to see lots of the little things being wrapped up. So that's positive. Any other questions for Jen? No? Shall we then move on to new business? Anyone have anything? No new business. Okay, I will then look to see if there's any public comment.
Did we approve all the change orders?
I think the TRC did. Do I
Okay.
have that wrong? Okay. So I think they were all under the threshold for the TRC to.
Okay, thank
yeah.
you.
Yep. That was my understanding anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Steve is nodding his head yes, so.
Okay, very good. Okay, public comment. Do we have anyone with us today? Anyone have any questions, want to say anything?
Matt's hand is up, Dawn.
Oh, hey, Matt. Thank you, Lori.
Yeah, sorry, Don, and I don't want to interrupt public comment. And Dr. Hunter, we can take it offline, but thank you for your response about access to the energy bills, and just wondering, I know you're busy right now, and I don't want to interrupt the staff, but at some point in September, maybe we can coordinate about getting access to that information.
Yes, Bob actually pulled some things. They're sitting in our emails. So
Great.
well,
Okay.
maybe we'll hit forward today for you, Matt.
Yep. No rush. Thank you,
All
Dr.
right.
Hunter.
Okay, anything else today? If not, it looks like a nice short one. Looks like our next meeting, September 18th.
Correct.
Great. And anything else before we adjourn? If not, good luck with the start of school next week, Lori and team.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Have a great day.
Bye.